Hello and welcome to episode 237, fresh back from vacation of the Veeam Community Recap. But guess what? It went on last week. Good stuff. I'm Rick Vanover back, but I'm at home. Got to fly out tonight or this morning for a Veeam on tour. But Madalena, it's been quite a week. How you doing?
Hello, Rick, and welcome back. I am doing great. Preparation for our Veeam 100 Summit. A lot of it. We have that in 2 weeks coming, so that's exciting. Just a few more things, and we are almost there. But talking about Prague, yes, you are back from your vacation. How was that? Tell us a little bit, a sneak peek. That was
So
the first time when you actually visited Prague.
yes, so true story. I've been to Prague probably 10, 15 times over the years. We have a major R&D center there. We have hosted several times the V100 summit there, but that's always a work trip. And my wife was very specific, like, hey, we're going to go there on a personal vacation. Until then, strictly business. Okay. So, no joke, I've never been to the fancy Charles Bridge or the astronomical clock or the castle or the John Lennon Wall or the canal that was built from the Knights of Malta. Never been to any of that stuff, right? But I did. I did all of that last week. I did two Super Walk tour days, and then we also rented a car and we went to Southern Bohemia. We went to, oh, I'm really tough with the pronunciation, Maddie. Bear with me. I went to Český Budějovice, went to Tabor, went to Pilsen, where
Oh,
Pilsner beer was
wow.
started. You know, I like that. I went to Karlovy Vary and went to, I forget the name of this other little town. And we also went to Český Krumlov, but we actually went there once before. So it's like we were running all over. It was a very busy week, but it was a fantastic trip.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of things to do in 1 week.
You have never traveled with my wife on vacation. Let me just tell you, it is not a vacation. It's an itinerary. Okay.
Got you.
Yeah, but we
But
know
yes.
we had 2 days where we just totally rested in the morning. Like it was actually awesome because the hotel we stayed at in Prague, breakfast went till 2:30 in the afternoon. So no joke. We showed up at 1:30 getting breakfast one day. So that's fun stuff. But I
Yeah,
saw you had
happy
some
for you.
special, yeah, and then we'd be back in Prague in 2 weeks. So that's kind of weird, but it's just the way the schedule worked.
Gonna be work. It's gonna be work and networking and seeing our community, which is gonna be awesome. But talking about community, community was super active while you were away. So
Yeah.
why don't we just start with some awesome stuff?
Yeah, and good job on covering last week. I didn't get to watch it yet. I got back and was right into it, but thank you for carrying the show on. But here we are with 237. First up is Christian I Am Soul Ever Soul talking about one of the new patches for 12.3.2.
Yeah, that's basically another great step-by-step procedure from Chris. He really enjoys this step-by-step stuff. Him and I think that the other one that really loves this one is Link State. So this time he's upgrading Vim backup and replication from build 12.3.23617 to 12.3.2.4.165. And the key takeaway is, the necessity of choosing the correct installer. I think that's the most important takeaway from this. Users already on build 3617 must use the dedicated exe patch to avoid risky modify uninstall prompts from the ISO. And the process as he goes through is straightforward. Run the exe, click install, reboot, and let the automatic component update synchronize all proxies, repositories, and accelerators across your environment. I really like that, on top of the step by step, Chris is also sharing a lot of links to great resources, making it very comprehensive piece of content in here. I think the links are also to some of his older articles, so it's pretty good, like to have a general understanding of all this. And my opinion in here is, that this guide is really good reading for any IT professional running Veeam. Many times people are just afraid to patch. on this kind of mission critical software, but sometimes or most of the times or always ignoring the vulnerabilities is the far greater risk. So always do the patch. And Chris is doing a fantastic job of clearing up the ISO versus exec confusion, which is usually, from what I read, something that many make this mistake and they choose the wrong installer, and then this leads to deployment error. So really great write up, Chris, in here as always. Thank you for this.
Yeah, and this is my favorite screenshot, and you ended right on that, about which installer to use, Maddie. So if you look at like the two main modes of updating are to download an individual executable patch or the ISO. And let me explain this process a little bit. So if you're on the latest and greatest until there's a patch, just the patch will work. And if you think about that, it's just going to what's been corrected. That's why that patch is a lot smaller. It's not tiny, 663 meg, but at least it's not a full ISO, which is that second option. So if you haven't touched your environment in years or you're not on the latest and greatest, the ISO will handle all the different scenarios across all the small builds of the past to get you up to the latest. That's the difference. And one thing I'll say is when it says download latest 12.3.2 ISO, after these patches, there's what they call an ISO repack. So the ISO is repackaged to bring you up to the latest and greatest. And it's, this is one of the reasons why we're super excited about on the 13, which we'll talk about. We've always been talking about, and there's plenty talked about that in the community. But that's one of the reasons why the built-in updater for 13 is so attractive. But Christian, thank you so much for sharing this, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Totally.
All right. Now, I think this is the first name we've called Martin. I've met him last year in Argentina, and I think, Maddie, it wasn't just me meeting him, it was you casting the spell of the Veeam community upon him, and we're calling out a new name.
Yeah, hola Martin, great to have you. Yes, I met Martin in Lima in Peru, and then he was with us in Buenos Aires for VUG Argentina, and he had a short session and answered some questions. Was pretty good, and very, very great, to see his first post, because he actually mentioned it. He wrote me about it because it was going to spam for whatever reason. So this is his first post, and obviously the first mention in the recap. So fantastic to have you. And it's also a very good article. Martin details the steps for deploying a single node Kubernetes cluster using K3s on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, and then integrating Veeam Kasten K10 for data management and backup. And basically the process is streamlined for lab environments and discovering the installation of K3s and the package manager Helm, the proper configuration of Kubernetes access files, and then running pre-flight checks to ensure readiness. And then walks through adding the Kasten Helm repository and installing Kasten K10. And he's offering two installation options in here. One is for direct dashboard access and one enabling token authentication. And Martin concludes with instructions on creating a service account and generating a security token for admin access. And what I like is that this isn't just, theory, it's just kind of a ready to use cheat sheet for like a quickly deploying powerful container data management solution. And this is especially for people that are looking to upskill in container backup and disaster recovery. So I think this is great. I can see Jeff also commenting in there. He put his thoughts. He's like already sharing the link to Kubernetes Corner. He says, hey, if you want more details on this, here you have it. So fantastic stuff. Thank you, Jeff, for that. And thank you, Martin, for a wonderful write-up.
Yeah, and one thing I'll highlight here is that Jeff even says K3s is still Jeff's favorite, and that actually comes with a lot of weight. Jeff does a lot in this space. So, Martin, this is fantastic. And for those of you who are wanting to learn Kubernetes and then even better, protecting it with Kasten, there's really no excuse. This is a great example of getting started. And with Kubernetes Corner and so many of the different resources, it's really, really accessible. So thank you, Martine. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be calling your name more.
Fingers crossed. Looking
All right.
forward.
Now, speaking of Jeff, last up on the featured content, Jeff, funny guy. He did a funny thing here. The Internet Time Machine. Oh, Jeff, or WayBackMachine, I guess it's called. This is crazy.
He's, Jeff and his super creative ideas. I love it. Must say, I really enjoyed this one. As you said, really fun and nostalgic look at the origins of Veeam, And I'm sure for you and Daisy and people that have been with Veeam for so many years, right? You've been like 14 years now,
Uh,
probably?
Next month will be 15. Yeah.
15. Oh my goodness. And AZ, like same,
Uh,
similar?
he's like 1 or 2 years, just under that. Yeah.
Okay, that's insane. So I think for you, this is actually even more nostalgic. It brings a lot of memories. So um,
All
I
right.
mean, I'm gonna just mention a few things in here, but I think it's more important from your side. So yeah, what you said is Jeff is introducing us to the Internet Archive's WayBackMachine, and that's what he's doing, exploring the early days of the Veeam website, starting with the first recorded snapshot, August 21st, 2006.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is indeed. And
Holy
then the journey
buckets.
shows Veeam's initial product offerings, Veeam Monitor, Scanner, the free utility fast SCP for VMware ESX server. And it even mentioned, if you go to the, I think the website, it mentions the Veeam forums that started in
Yeah. Yeah.
2006 and the
It appeared. Yeah.
yeah, and then the
Right.
importance of
Yeah.
community, right, since early
Mm-hmm.
days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually really, really cool. Look at that logo. Look at that logo. Look at that.
Two
Wow, this
colors,
is how it
I
looks. Oh
remember that.
my.
And here's the crazy thing is I love this old logo, but it was so close to being really cool because first of all, we have the bounce mark now, the little bounce mark on the logo. But here, bear with me here. Let me make it red. What if we would have had that swoosh? I called it a swoosh back then. What if we had that swoosh go like that? So it's like you're down and we bring you up. It's kind of like the whole thing of bounce market. It was so close. Oh, you
Yeah,
know what?
totally.
You know what, Maddie? We ought to try this tool. You ready? Let's
Uh-huh.
let's do it on the community hub.
Let's
Let's see
see.
what that looked like so many years ago. Well,
It's not that
www.
many years ago. It's just 2020. I already kind of checked few
You
things
look
in
at
there.
you on it.
But it's good that we are now in the show and we can just do it for the
Let's,
community. Let's
let's
see.
see if it works. Hopefully, I don't have to pay.
It should, yeah, it should
Oh,
work.
oh, look at that. Okay, so I remember it was it was Ksenia's project before we got into it. What did it look like? Survey says this is a cool tool. It's funny. I've known about this, but I've actually never used it. Have you? Well, you already, I guess, getting to this point. But I purposely took that 31st because they had a few. The first had a few more changes, right? But this is a cool
Mhm.
thing. And while that's
Mhm.
loading, I want to go back over here and point out something on Jeff's post. Go to the
Do
very
you still
first
have
iteration.
some stuff like banners or something from with this old logo in your office
I
right now? You are not there,
I
but
don't have anything this old.
okay.
But what I want to highlight, this is now part of Veeam 1. So this product has actually persevered the longest. And I think that's pretty cool because it's also important to note that we started all of this before, um, I don't know, we didn't do recaps in 2020. We did those in 21. So I don't know. I'm not buying that version of the archive. I think there's too many frames and pages that are being made, but definitely the logo at the time has been populated. Alfred was in the house before he was a barn cat before we you know, made him a household
I
pet.
think
But
this is
yeah.
a newer version. I don't think it's 2020 really.
Well, maybe it is because she started with Legends, and that's what
Yeah.
actually got my attention. New program, right?
It started with Legends 2021 though.
Oh, that's right. And maybe this was just her. I don't know.
Mm.
Anyways,
I
it's
think
fun.
it's new. It's newer. It's not 2020. It's not when it
Yeah,
started. Like really,
yeah,
like the
yeah.
first. Yeah,
Oh, whoa,
but
was this?
close
Oh, wow,
enough.
the forums. They haven't changed that much, but that's kind of scary.
Well,
Look at
the
that.
logo is changed. That I can tell you. That I
Oh,
can tell you. Yeah, but
yeah,
yeah,
that'd be a good
the
piece of trivia. Is like, how many Veeam logos have there been? There actually have been four. Technically, there's probably even more. There's the one without two colors, and then there's this with the bar a little bit thicker, and then there's um, the 2017 logo, and then the 2017 logo got bolder, and then the 2023 current logo. So actually, I guess that's six. But
yeah.
oh
And
wow,
you know what is
wild.
funny? That today we are going to talk about a new acquisition in special department news. That it kind of puts this article and that,
Yeah,
in the mirror, and it's going to be interesting to see where is Veeam today compared to how it
yeah.
started. It's crazy.
Indeed, indeed. Wild times. All right, hey Jeff, that was fun. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to see Jeff tomorrow, probably today even, at the Veeam Tour in Toronto.
Say hi.
Yeah. So next up, DDA. This might be the first time we've called DDA on the VBS,
I
or is it
thought,
not? Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, talking about custom settings, because there is no registry setting on the Veeam software appliance. Then he's talking about config files. This is beautiful. So this has actually been really a big one, Jeff. So thank you for sharing this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, so basically, going a little bit more in detail, Didier explains how to configure custom advanced settings on the new Rocky Linux-based Veeam software appliance, which, as you said, replaces the Windows registry method used in previous versions. And since Linux uses configuration files instead of a registry, Didier shows us that fine-tuning is now done by editing specific .conf files. So the key takeaway is that users manage these files exclusively through the Veeam Host Management Console web UI, and this is avoiding the need for SSH access. And then DDA provides a useful mapping of Windows registry keys to their corresponding VSA configuration files. And then he shows a simple step-by-step example of how to implement a custom console banner by editing the Veeam backup and replication conf file
Mm-hmm,
via the whatever I was saying, the console
mm-hmm.
export import feature. So that's really a pretty cool piece of document for, especially for any admin, I think, that is migrating or deploying the new Veeam software appliance. And yeah, I think it's good stuff. Thank you, Didier, for putting that together. And I do think this is the first time when we call your name in the VBS, and hopefully not the last.
Yeah, this is really, I've had this come up. In fact, we even had a feature request come in that on the idea module, special hidden part of the hub. I'm actually going to put this in because this is exactly the question that we thought we need to productize it. Well, like I actually learned something I didn't know about this. So thank you, DDA. This is fantastic. And then also definitely give a read to KB 4779, which walks through kind of the specific parts of how that works from a KB perspective. Good
Mhm.
stuff. All right, next week on Wednesday, pretty late for Egypt, it looks like, at least if it's resolving to my New York time. This event will be in Arabic, but it is a What's New by Mohammed Adel and Amr, latest versions of 13 V13. I think this will be a pretty cool event. And you said this is a series, right?
Serious, but what it is like today, because we are recording on Wednesday, right? So today there's going to be another one. If you go to events, actually, you're going to see that he has Mohammed from Lenovo, and then they're going to discuss it, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, from the partner perspective, and it's more like a hands-on experience. So that's happening today as we speak. Also a
Muhammad
bit
and Muhammad.
late.
They got two
Yeah,
Muhammads
Mohammed
up.
and Mohammed,
Okay.
exactly. So I guess this is more hands-on experience from a partner perspective as well and the community perspective, while the one that is next week is going to be more what's new from Veeam perspective, having Amer and Mohammed. So I think both of them are really valuable. V13 and 1 hour is not enough to cover, so great stuff that he decided for too. I really like the setting. Too bad that we won't see Mohammed in Prague, because I saw he had trouble with visa, so he had to cancel. So that's
Yeah, bummer,
unfortunate.
for sure, for sure. But also, definitely check on the events list. And this one popped up. You might have covered it last week. The
Yeah, we
Okay,
did.
okay. Well, nonetheless, that one. Where's it at? I'm always curious. Top Golf. That sounds fun. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't. I'm booked. I'm booked.
Bunch of people that registered already. The first one that we have in LA in a long time, I think 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, Zayn had one in LA. It was just kind of the start, but now it's Stephen Yu, our leader that is covering New York and LA. A
Stephen
little bit,
New. I love that guy.
yeah.
Funny story,
Uh,
Maddie. As far as I know, the very first in-person user group was in 2011, and it was in Southern California, and we
okay.
had 70 people show up.
Oh, wow.
Now, I believe that was the first one around the world, but I'm not 100% sure because EMEA
Yeah.
may have done EMEA things. But anyways, the Southern California market is a big one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, like, now since we kind of start reshaping
Yeah.
the VUG program in that sense, because I'm sure there were some organized, same as in New York before pandemic, there were a bunch of in-person events, but like since we kind of created this new VUG format, I
Hmm.
think the first one in a long time, it was arranged also by Stephen Yu at the beginning of this month, and as far as I heard, it was very successful. So great stuff.
Well, and it's really important that there's a central digital home with the
Mhm.
community for the user groups, and then as they operate around the world, we kind of give them a framework of what to start with, but they kind of execute and operate differently, right, and uniquely. So,
Yeah.
anyways, thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Mohammed, and thank you, Amr, for that upcoming event next week.
Yeah.
All right, last part of special department news. Big news this week here at Veeam. A new era for accelerating safe AI at scale. Veeam to acquire security.ai. This is a big one, folks. Now, we have to let this deal close, but we announced it this week. Yesterday, we're recording on Wednesday. And I can tell you, we are super amped about this going across primary and secondary data. I actually didn't look, Maddie. I don't know if there are any chats in the community about this, but internally, this was a big
Yeah.
buzz.
There is one. I think there is one or two. One of them, it's Jeff, that was like kind of trying to get engagement and check opinions. So I think there is one. He posted, "What's your opinion? What's your takeaway? What do you think?" I think
Hmm.
Jeff posted that. So very curious. We might mention it next week. We'll just leave it with the community and get some more uh, insights and ideas, and we might mention it next week.
Yeah, so this is a big one. Yeah, we'll watch that space. And again, we as a company got to go and officially close the deal. So a lot of opportunity here. Um, I can just tell you, our management team have worked really hard on this, and this is a big step for Veeam. So I'm really excited for it. So stay tuned. And Maddie, maybe we'll need a new theme, AI something something world in the community. Who knows? Let's let this play out.
Yeah, for sure, because it's going to be interesting to see how the community, how the conversations are kind of changing with this acquisition. Because if you think about it's kind of shifting from, like just the RTO, RPO to RTO, RPO, data intelligence, AI readiness. You are not just talking recover data after an attack. You need to know how what data you have, where it lives, if it's compliant, if it's safe to feed an AI model, all that. So that is what security AI brings, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. We're going to see a lot of interesting topics, blogs. I'm very excited about what is coming in the community.
Stay tuned. You are in the right place. All right. From the desk of Sophia, thank you, Sophia, for rocking us out. We're happy to welcome plus 227 new members to the Veeam community with 5 awesome usernames that we'll highlight. The 4 coolest usernames are Twano, Quelix, Hostmaster, Shadow Carlson, and Alfred's pick is Eclipse Forever. I like these. These are good names.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just taking consideration 227 is actually for 2 weeks, right? It's
Yeah,
not just one
fair,
week, but because
fair,
last
fair.
week we didn't cover it with Scott and Chalid. But
Yeah,
great number.
indeed, indeed. And Maddie, thank you so much for rocking out the content this week. I mean, just so you know, friends, every week she picks it up, she scouts it. Um, a lot of times when we're presenting, this is the first time I'm looking at it. So thank you, Maddie.
Absolutely. It's always my pleasure. Enjoying
Um,
it.
next week I have a trip, so I'll be doing early. I'll be on West Coast time, so we'll get it done, but that's not a problem. So you'll have to rate my hotel room, see how it goes. But I'll be in Arizona next week. I think we can record same day, regular time. So we'll see. How about for you? Any trip next week or just getting ready for
Nothing,
Prague?
I mean, Vim 100 Summit is coming, so nothing until then. We just have to be on top of things, make sure everything is going as planned. So that's the focus.
All right. All right, Maddie, thank you again for rocking it with me this week, everyone. We will see you next week on 238.